we've got colleagues from, good morning, good afternoon. It has been hectic, yeah. Good afternoon, colleagues. Welcome to our first South African Library Week 2025 meeting. Can I just get an indication if colleagues from Makhado have joined us? Anyone from Makhado?
Seems like no one yet. I see from Limpopo, I see Siswini and Simon.
Okay. All right. Thank you and welcome. We are going to have a very short meeting because today we are just going to discuss about the theme and the launch, and then we are going to discuss about the role players, and then we are going to also discuss our meeting just to see if everybody is comfortable with the meeting time. And then we also need to agree on the secretarial. We are meeting because we'll be meeting weekly. We need to just concentrate on reporting. It's not really minutes, but it's
Action.
we should actions. Yes, we are going to concentrate on actions, and then we can then so maybe for today, the first thing that I'm gonna share with you, it's the theme, South African Library Week 2025 theme. It's a very interesting theme because you might have observed already that this presidency and the board have got a minor obsession, if not a little bit higher obsession with sustainable development. So our theme for this year, I'm sending the theme and the rationale to you. If you could share it, please. Yeah, our theme for this year is
And shall please share to Aphelele? He's the host, so he can share.
Oh, okay. Aphelele. It's libraries for sustainable development. We chose this theme because we want to support. You might have listened to what we're talking about earlier in terms of as a sector, we need to really come back and speak about what contribution have we made around sustainable development. So the theme is libraries for sustainable communities. So notably, you would see this theme underscores the library transformative role in fostering sustainability, resilience, inclusivity, accessibility with communities. So if you look at all those four things I've mentioned, fostering sustainability, resilience, inclusivity, and accessibility with communities. So what we're doing here, we want everybody, regardless of their social status, regardless of their physical status or their health status, to feel being part of libraries. Our libraries, as we have seen with presentation from this conference, when they build the libraries, they think of everything. how how people living with disability are going to reach the services, how people with visual disability are going to be accessed, all of those. So the SDGs that we are looking at them here is really around SDG 11, SDG 4. SDG 7 speaks to sustainable cities and communities, and SDG 11 speaks to quality education. And you would know most libraries, most public libraries, they also double up as school libraries, and the impact that they make in schools, it's very, so we need these stories. So next year's South African Library Week, we need all libraries to speak to this, to say how are they making our countries, how the community is sustainable. What is their contribution in terms of quality education, and what is their contribution to sustainable communities? So we speak to the first point is the whole issue around access to all. Libraries, whether at universities or at schools or in public, they're always concentrating in terms of access to all. That's why we were in the forefront of open access. And now we have just recently launched digital literacy. So our emphasis really is about everybody should have access to opportunities, to knowledge, to information. And only the libraries can bridge a digital divide. And you can see even in rural areas, libraries are bridging even the digital divide. People can go to the library to do a lot of things that they couldn't do from their home. And then the second point within the rationale is that libraries are essential hubs for lifelong learning and quality education. So that's where the whole issue around SDG 4. So we will be sharing as libraries, what role are we playing, even communities. So next year's South African Library Week, we want to showcase that. We want to speak about that. We want to draw attention of other people to what the libraries are doing. And then the third point speaks to, scroll up, libraries as key players in digital inclusion. You remember, like I mentioned earlier on, we as an association, we have already launched the inaugural digital media information literacy. So as you would see, going forward, starting very soon, you will see, driven by the board, many digital literacies or digital interventions that will be done by libraries. So we want to push it down, and that's why now you also saw us going to say, let's get a sponsor whereby we are going to recognize those libraries who do an uptake in innovation in technology. The whole idea really is to make sure that so you don't have to look any further. You can see what role that libraries are playing in digital. Because of libraries, some people, even if people don't have Wi-Fi at home, they would be able to use the Wi-Fi in those libraries. By doing, they are bridging the divide, but also they are including everyone. And last but one, the issue around libraries as champion of environment awareness and community engagement. And you all know the role that we as libraries are playing in terms of championing environmental awareness. We are in a serious predicament, colleagues. Only those who are fools can think that they don't see the impact of environmental damage that is happening. I mean, we now have earthquakes, we now have floods almost every year, which is unheard of, but it's So we need to play our role as libraries and all of those things. So these are the things that we are bringing in. And colleagues, if we push on these things, so what we're going to do as part of this, we will be collecting these stories and we will publish them in the digital Digimec, digital magazine. All these good stories around libraries in these areas, either as in education or in sustainable communities, in environmental awareness, what community engagement projects that libraries are doing. And even here, some libraries even have food gardens. So in terms of SDG, that's SDG around no hunger. So all of those things, we will be collecting these stories. Remember, that is what we want to achieve as LIASA, to collect the stories from libraries and about the roles that they are playing in making this community sustainable. So that is the theme for 2025, and that is the rationale why we are choosing this theme. I hope this will be able, because if I did share with colleagues, and I did get some few comments. We have incorporated those comments into what you've got here now in front of you. Out of this meeting, Label is going to begin to send out to the community and to all role players the save the date with the theme and the rationale, and then from there we would then start the process of designing a poster, and then you guys you would participate in that process by evaluating and advising until the executive of the board approves it once it's collectively done. That is all from the theme and the process around the theme. I'll open the floor if you've got any questions around the theme and the rationale. I don't see any hands. I see we have been joined by other colleagues. Maybe let me come back again and get a confirmation. Romeo, I see your hand. I'm coming back to you. Did colleagues from Mercado have joined already?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, Romeo.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon, colleagues. I think while I wanted to come in while colleagues are still stretching to raise their hands, I know they're going to raise their hands. No, just to add that the theme and especially some of the sub themes that have been included will address some of the issues that were raised, at the celebration of the Librarians' Day at the National Library of South Africa. The questions that were raised at our AGM in terms of how is LIASA contributing to providing an update or part of an update in terms of the contributions, towards the UN's 2030 sustainable goals, and some of these themes, they talk directly to how, when we report back, or rather when we start publishing some of those stories, I think that will assist in providing as part of the feedback towards how LIASA, the LIS sector in general, is actually contributing to those SDGs that are listed. So I thought I'll just come in there while colleagues are stretching their arms. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Romeo. Yeah, colleagues, that's our theme. That's the theme we're going to go with. Yeah, so from here, unfortunately, the current board doesn't have a secretariat. So we Lewo, I didn't see. Have you done away with using your AI to record, or you rely on Apelele to record on the recording, so that you can then create an action list for us?
I will create the action list. The AI thing, sometimes it joins, sometimes it doesn't.
Oh, okay. All right. So maybe the other thing that we need to do, maybe we need to invest. We think about it when we got to the report. Maybe we need to invest to look, just investigate which good AI can we use for meetings, and then we can invest in terms of subscribing, because
Yes.
I think using free, they have some limitation at some stage, then you miss out on those things. So just please look at that, and then
Yeah,
okay.
I'll complete the action list and share it.
Okay, thank you. All right, colleagues. Okay, that's our theme. It will go out today with the save the date, and then from there, label would be sending out to graphic designers who are on our database with a brief for the poster. So the poster must speak to their theme, and then you guys are going to appraise it and recommend it to the board or exco of the board, and then they would make a decision in terms of the poster that they're gonna go with. So we need to move faster. So the second thing is that this meeting, we're going to have this meeting every week on a Tuesday at 3:30. The idea really is that you must spend at least maximum 30 minutes to 45 minutes, not more. We would just speak, we would just concentrate on what is important, what needs to be done, and report back what have been done. Okay. And then secondly, now we come to the launch. Right. The launch, we normally do a launch on a Friday. And in the past, we used to do it on a Saturday. Then there were challenges with school kids not being available, and also things become expensive because it's weekend, and all of those things. But now that we are going to partner with Mercado, we didn't want to make that decision early, but allow this meeting to explore that, to say what would work better for Ntwengena. But what we did last year, for your benefit, we launched on a Friday, hosted by the Library of the Blind. And then on the Saturday, we joined the Provincial Library Services to go and open the library. So whilst we're in the province, we make sure that at least we also make ourselves. So even the department there, if they have planned to open up a library or something like that as part of the conference theme of sustainable communities, then also we can look at that. But in terms of the launch, can we get maybe feedback from colleagues from Mercado? What were their plans? What is their feeling about doing a launch on a preferred day, which is a Friday in terms of Liasa? And then we can then start take this process forward. Over to you, colleagues from Mercado. Anyone? You are unmuted.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, you're speaking to Valencia from Mercado.
Yes, Valencia.
Regarding the date or the specific day, whether it's Saturday or Friday, but we normally do our event on Friday to accommodate our political principals. They've advised us, or if we want to accommodate them, we must make sure that our events are on Saturday, on Friday, not Saturday. But I don't think if the meeting is deciding on Saturday, it will be a train smash. But we normally
Yes,
do our event on Fridays.
Okay, thank you very much, Varlensha. I think that will suit the board well because we also prefer Fridays. For the very same reason that you have just cited now. Most of the people are in office, therefore they are likely to attend, and then we don't have to compete with funerals and weddings for the day. So colleagues, is there any dissenting view on a Friday? So Friday it is. Now let's come to the actual dates of the South African Library Week. Colleagues, just for your benefit, how we choose date, we make sure that the day where the first library was launched that day should fall within that date range. So our date range for next year is 17 to the 23rd. Because the 20th falls on that week. 17 of March to the 23rd of March. So here is a challenge. It's a good challenge or it's a bad challenge. It might be a good challenge. 21st of March, it's Human Rights Day. It's Human Rights Day. I'm just thinking of your political principles to say it coincides with that. Would that make any difference? Do you know? And would the launch compete with the Human Rights Day activities? If we go with that Friday. Colleagues, I'm opening up the floor for your contribution. Not only colleagues from Makado, but all colleagues from the province and also colleagues from national.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, my suggestion will be maybe let's give it to the people of Makado and they go and discuss it with their principal. And then from there, they come back to us to check if that date will be suitable for them. Because I think maybe we just allow them to understand that that is the week that we wanted to have the launch. And then they check if that will be suitable for them.
Okay, colleagues, let's do that. So we give the colleagues, they would report back on Tuesday, next week Tuesday, in terms of they are fine with the holiday of the 21st. We can go ahead and do the launch, which will suit it will suit their political principles or Maditsipi.
Thank you, Chair. I was looking at the calendar and I'm seeing that the 17th is the day where you said we have to launch the library week. So the 21st is on a Saturday. I don't think that maybe we'll be interfering with
No, it's my mistake. So my apologies, colleagues. Yeah, we are correct. The launch date is the 15th. The South African Library Week starts on the 17th and ends on the 23rd.
Yeah.
No, my mistake. Thank you, Mayor. The Friday is the 14th. 14th of March, and the library week starts on the 17th of March to the 23rd of March. So no, it's fine. We don't have to, so it's done. It's done, Prof. I made a mistake. I looked at the Friday of the South African Library Week instead of a Friday preceding the Library Week. Okay, are we fine, colleagues? So our date is the 14th. It will be launched at Mercado. So in the save the date, we can go ahead and include that label. That the launch will be, the details will follow. The launch, South African Library Week launch will happen in Mercado, Limpopo, and the date is the 14th of March, 2025. Okay, right. If we are fine then with that, we would come to the detail. For today, we're just setting up. So from next week, when we've got the action plan, we are going to then begin to start to say who's doing what, when, and who's doing what, when. Right, Silo. You are muted. Yes.
Okay, no, thank you very much, Chairperson and President of Liasa. No, I was saying, since you were giving Mercado the directives, then maybe you should also direct that they need to come with a specific venue or the library whereby we are going to launch. So when they come back, they come with all these details. Thanks.
Thank you. Yes, I think our colleagues, they were already planning. I did ask Prof, the President-elect, to speak to them, advise them about our wish. The only thing that we would probably request is just that it should be the ease of access, but at the same time, we should not compromise, because this speaks to sustainable communities. So we don't want to be too prescriptive. However, we're just sensitizing them. So colleagues, Valencia and the team, maybe if you have already identified the venue, you can share with us, but if you have not, you wanted to have this meeting first, and then we can leave it up to you to come back to us next week with the venue, and then so that when we start the preparations, we have an idea.
Okay, Chairperson.
Okay, thank you.
We have identified 3 venues that we say the committee will choose the suitable one. If we
Okay.
want to have the launch here in town, we can go to Mercado Showground. If we want to go to the regions, we have Waterfall region or Zanani region.
The regions, how in terms of logistics, is it easy to reach them by road?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah, maybe in the next meeting, if you can, maybe even if it's a PowerPoint presentation, that you can share that this is the venue in town, this is the showground, these are the things that you can, these are the things. And then if we are going to this region, from N1 to that region, this so many kilometers, so that we give the committee enough information for them to make a choice.
That's fine with us.
But because it's a national, we might want to create because it's about visibility, you know. If we want to create visibility, I'm already, when you say showground, I'm already excited because it looks like it's a big thing. So but Pilates may just, if you can do that for us next week, and then then the colleagues can make a decision.
Okay, it's fine. We'll do.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that goes to the action plan. Then we maybe for your information, then the other thing that we did, we you know, when we go to a province, we are thinking now, we are trying to rope in all. You might have, those of you who have been with me for some time, you might have observed that I like collaboration. So if there are any role players that you normally collaborate with, please let us know so that we can keep them at the back of our minds. But also, we had reached out on Connect Mama Bolo from the province, because the other thing is just to create the culture of reading, promote the culture and of reading. So we are trying to bring in celebrities to see if they can play the role of being ambassadors for South African Library Week. So far, for the launch, we have spoken to Connect. Those who might not know, Connect Mama Bulos is a young man who was playing Tabo Maputla on Skim Sam. He established a library in the village in Gamolepo village, and he was excited when we spoke about it. So we will be roping him in into this year's launch. We just need to look at what stage, because we don't want to bore him with being part of these meetings, but at the same time, we want him to also to have a feel of what we want to achieve. So Prof. Lifos and the colleagues from Limpopo, I will rely on you to guide in terms of maybe also have after this meeting, if you can maybe link up with him and find out from him at what stage he would like to, and maybe when we start discussing the program of the day of the launch, then maybe we want to bring him in at that stage. But I'm leaving it to the colleagues in Limpopo to connect with him and report back to him to say the South African Library Week committee met, and he was introduced as one of our ambassador for South African Library Week 2025. And we just want to make sure that we start bringing him into the conversation at the right time, and what is the right time for him, because he's also a businessman, so we don't want to waste their time, and at the same time we don't want to get them to get involved in small matters like choosing a poster and looking at those kind of things. So I'll leave that to you, Prof, and the colleagues, that you can brief him, and then you can give me a feedback to say this is his view about when he wants to come in. And we will be, he might not be the only one whom we might bring in. He might not be the only one. So we'll see if you guys can identify others that you have worked with, that you know that they might support the South African Library Week. Because the whole idea really is to try and encourage young people to read. If we can achieve, if we can get 10 to 20 learners reading for the first time because of this life, it will be a huge achievement for us, because the challenge that you've got is the young people don't read. So the whole idea of trying to bring these celebrities, people that they can identify with, and promote reading, we are hopeful that you would, maybe even within the agenda on the day, maybe we can have reading sessions. We can think about it. You are colleagues on the ground, you know how you work with schools, and we can look around if we can get sponsors and have a mini reading summit during the launch, so that, because learners don't listen to speeches. While speeches are happening on the side, the learners can engage and all of those things. So those are some of the things I'm just thinking, because we want to create these sustainable communities. Okay, we are fine then with the launch date. So next week we'll choose we'll choose the preferred venue, and we can start working around that. And then I think for me, that's all from my side. The only thing that I need to find out from you, I hope everybody's comfortable with us meeting at 3:30 on a Tuesday. This looks like a yes for everyone. The idea really is just to make sure that, thank you, Winnie. Network is a problem. Even me, it was giving me challenges this afternoon, but I think we're fine. So, colleagues, Lebu, our manager, is going to prepare an action list that we're going to work with going forward. So from there, next week, we are going to look at the presentation from colleagues from Mercado, and then we choose the venue. And then from there, we would then identify what needs to be done and by whom, by when. So we're going to have cutoff dates. Then we're going to have color scheming. So on in that spreadsheet that we're going to use as an action plan, we are going to say, for instance, the poster, when the poster should be ready, the design, because after the design, they still need to be printed. And after printing, they still need to be. So in the past, because of COVID, we were not printing. We were able to stretch it until late because we are not printing. But now, seeing that we are doing physical launch, we have begun to start printing. So we might want to make sure that we are on time. So you will see when we get the action list will have the action, it will have the proposed dates, and then it will have who's responsible. And then when we meet, we'll just report on that so that we don't waste time on talking just if it's a meeting. It's actually an implementation project. So we need to work it as a project. Okay, thank you, colleagues. I'm not sure if there are anyone with a question or a suggestion.
Chair, I just have a comment that I want to make. I see that the people from the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture in Limpopo are with us here. You made a suggestion earlier that if there's any activities that they want to do, maybe they want to launch or open a library or something. I think the official from the National Office of the Department of Arts and Culture, and also the other offices will be in the Limpopo province. Maybe they must take advantage of that present, and whatever that they want to do, they do around that.
Yes, thank you. And that's also correct, Prof.
Yeah, and yes. Also maybe if they could extend an invitation to their MEC offices to check if the MEC can be available, because maybe we may be lucky. I know you are a very connected man, Mr. President. You might be able to get the Minister of Sports and Culture to join us during the Library Week launch, and it might be that the minister, the MEC from the province is also available.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not sure, Winnie, do you have any new libraries that you have in your province that you never launched?
Thank you, Chairperson, and good afternoon to colleagues. Currently in Mercado, there is a library that we are building, but I don't think it will be ready by March. Okay. It is at an advanced stage, but yeah, I don't think it will be ready, but we will update you as we proceed with that library. It is the only one that we have in that area. And okay. Yeah, we take note of what you have said. We will look into that. If there are other activities that we can include, we will update the committee. And I just want to indicate that I have invited the colleagues from Vembe district because they are the ones working with Mercado municipality. So don't be amazed if you see people like Malachi, Rachel, Melida, and Malebana is one of the Liasa members, so I send the invite to them so that they be part of these meetings, because I'm not sure if I'll be able to attend all the meetings. So if my colleagues are part, they will be able to give me feedback on what was agreed upon. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Melebo.
Can I please ask that Silo send me the emails that I can easily include them in the meeting request?
Okay. Silo, please forward the emails of the colleagues from the Vembe districts so that they also have can be included. Okay. Thank you. Any other question, comment, colleagues?
I have a comment.
Yes.
I'm Kamagalo from Makado Municipality. My conversation is around the issue of venue. So, as my colleague had indicated, we have identified 3 venues. One is in the Waterfall, one is in Zanani, and one is in town. So we were looking also into the issue of capacity. The hall that we have in town can only allow up to, I think it's 250 people, whilst the one in Zanani next to the library can accommodate up to 500 people, and the one in Waterfall can also do the same. So often when we host events, or the municipality actually hosts events, if it's in town, it's going to require some form of hiring of tent. So I wanted you guys to be aware of the financial implications when it comes to the issue of venue, though we will touch bases next week in regards to that. And then the other one would be the issue of transportation. So next week, my proposal would be we should look into financial implications, and I would very much talk to the manager and perhaps the director to be available in the meetings, because Rena now, as it stands, we can only assist with identification, but when it comes to things, the financial implications, we cannot comment much. So I was just saying the difference in venue. In Waterfall, the municipality has a hall that is 500, even in Zanani, but the one year more showground is about 250 in terms of capacity, often bashumisha tent, and then we are going to look into the issue of logistics of robbing people from different regions to come and be part of the event. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll look at that next week when we discuss the issue of the venue. Any other comment, colleagues? Okay.
Chair.
Yes. Can you go
Sorry,
ahead, Romeo?
Yes, now I was just saying maybe to help colleagues from Makado who are going to be, as Kamuhelo said, maybe Chair, if we can look into, maybe give them an idea in terms of the target as to what is the normal, what is the average attendance maybe for previous launches, and what is the target? What are we aiming to to have in terms of the numbers? Maybe some average numbers, so that we don't go and book a massive hall only to have 100 people, or we go and book a small hall, and then we have 200, 300 people. Maybe just give them that idea in terms of the previous attendance, and what we are in terms of the target as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought we would probably discuss that next week when we discuss, because now remember we are going back to in-person launch. Normally we restrict our people who attend in person to around 200. But and the reason we are coming to Makado is because they have been consistently over the years doing their own having their own celebration of the library week. So we wouldn't like the Makado people to miss out on whatever they were doing, because now they are hosting a national event. So that's what we want to do, is to, when we sit down with them next week, they can give us an idea in terms of what they normally do, and then we agree. But normally our launches, it's really the main stakeholders and the people who are going to participate. So normally we limit it to around maximum 200, and we never really reach 200. It's normally around 100, including then you'll have schools that are performing or artists that are doing that, then make up that complement to around 200. But we don't want to preempt, because I've never been to their celebration. Maybe colleagues, that's why I'm leaving it that let's discuss about it next week. They would then give us an idea in terms of their events, how many people do they normally attract, and then we can work it from there. Okay, thank you very much. If there are no any other collections there, colleagues, I think we have come to the end of our meeting. Then from next week, what we can do, well, upfront, maybe by Monday, if we can share with an action list, so that people come to the meeting already with that action list available. All right, thank you very much. I don't see any other hands except for Label, which is an old hand, I assume. And I'd like to say thank you very much for making time. Let's meet again next week at 3:30.
Thank you, Chair.
Bye, colleagues.
Thanks. Bye, colleagues.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Chair. Bye, colleagues.
Bye,
Bye.
Prof.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Actually, no, and then one,